9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Tide forecast. At St. Petersburg, high tide Tuesday at 10:16 a.m. Low tide Tuesday at 6:53 p.m. Marine reports along the coast and offshore buoys. At the Seaman site at Cedar Key. Winds were west at 4 knots. Air temperature 88 degrees. At the Seaman site at Venice. Winds were northwest at 8 knots. Sea temperature 90 degrees. Air temperature 87 degrees. 100 miles west of Bayport, winds were from the northwest at 4 knots. Sea temperature 88 degrees. Air temperature 86. Wave heights 1 foot. Wave period 4 seconds. 210 miles west of Captiva, the air temperature was 86 degrees. Sea surface temperature was 87 degrees. The barometer was 1,014.4 millibars and rising. Winds were east at 4 knots.
Alrighty, you guys, what is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another tropical weather live stream here. We're going to be talking about the overall tropics, as we are going to also be doing a few personal forecasts for you guys as well, for everybody here, but we're going to save that towards the end, as we do have a lot of discussion to talk about here on the tropics. We have a lot of activity really starting to kick off across portions here of both the Atlantic and the Pacific side here, so we have a lot to talk about. Anyways, let's go ahead and see who is here for today. We have ourselves Creeper. What's up? Hope you're doing all right. We have Hype. We have Megan. Let's go and see here. J-Mix, I think it's how you pronounce that. Let's go and see Haley's here as well. What's going up, you guys? Hope you're doing all right. Glad to have you guys here for today. So, we're just going to go ahead and jump right on into it. So, we have live views here of the tropics. You're going to notice here on the left-hand side, we have ourselves Danielle. We have Tropical Storm K as well as Tropical Storm Earl. And we also do have, just above my head, some high-resolution imagery there of Earl. In regard to, basically in regard to the tropics here. But anyways, my friends, thank you so much for being here. Hope you guys are doing all right. Let's go and see. Forecaster Mia says, hello, what's up? Hope you're doing all right. Spencer says, what's up? What's up, hey, Yankee? Just retract the message. Well, what's up? Hope you're doing all right. Stormy's here. Let's see. Leon is here as well. What's up, you guys? Hope y'all are doing great here for today. So, as you may or may not know, we have a lot of activity going on here in the Atlantic as well as portions of the Eastern Pacific. I mean, just look how large, first of all, this system is. For example, here is, this is Tropical Storm Earl that we are watching here. And for an example of size, look how big this one here in the Eastern Pacific is. Now, this one is expected to have some impacts. This is now Tropical Storm K. This is expected to become a hurricane, and it's going to actually approach its way towards the California, or the Baja California peninsula there. But anyway, so yeah, things are definitely looking very, very crazy. Let's see, Yankee says, hello, hope everyone is safe and sound. You too, Yankee, thank you for joining us here for today. Hope you are doing all right here. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's see, Proxy, with a $50 super chat. And again, dude, you do not have to do all this help that you do for the channel. No way. Well, thank you so much there, Proxy. Big, big thank you goes to you, my man. Let's see, hi, Andrew, mods, and fellow trackers. Great to be here, rocking intro music. Let's track. Sounds good, my friend. Well, Proxy, once again, big, big shout out goes to you. Seriously, thank you so much. Yeah, the chat's a little, or my stream's a little bit delayed here. Anyways, so we have a lot to talk about, guys, in regard to we're going to start off with the Atlantic side. We have a lot to talk about. We're going to start off with Danielle here. So Danielle is still a hurricane, still clocking in at a Category 1 hurricane. Maximum sustained winds as of last update is approximately 85 mile per hour sustained winds. So obviously, we are seeing ourselves well into the hurricane force wind field, although this is still a Category 1 hurricane. Generally moving its way up here to the northeast at a whopping 9 miles per hour. Now, you can obviously tell that the overall convection, the stormage inside the storm is really not too crazy. Now, for the most part, like I was saying, though, I mean, this system is still considered a hurricane, even though it's above, kind of that tropical line there. Anyways, so this system is expected to really have no impacts down the line, as we did kind of mention before. With this in particular system, is going to continue on its northeasterly trajectory, actually expected to start weakening here, and possibly by tomorrow night, if not the day after tomorrow, this system could actually be downgraded back down into a tropical storm. Now, it's kind of a weird track here down at far in time. This system is expected to once again stall out here, and it eventually moves its way down here to the southeast. Now, in regard to things, this tracking particularly, is, like I said, once again, forecasted not to really impact any areas nearby. So I think that we're relatively fine for the most part in regard to Danielle. Now, that's different whenever we talk about Tropical Storm Earl here. Now, Earl has a lot of potential impacts here, and there is a lot of things I do want to go ahead and discuss with you. The latest satellite imagery is looking a little bit concerning. I'm not going to lie with you guys. I'm going to go ahead and explain to you exactly what is currently going on here. I want to go ahead and get my satellite view up here running for you guys. Anyway, so let's go ahead and bring up the closer view. It's the view that I have just above my head, but I want to make it bigger on the screen here. So let's go ahead and switch on back to the main screen here. So anyway, so this is currently the system here. You can notice it gets a little cut off there. That's where the mesoscale float ends. But if we look at it closely, you can obviously tell, we're going to add some more frames to this, make it look a little bit more, give it a little bit more motion here. But you can obviously tell, wait for this to load here for a second, things are actually really kind of getting crazy here. Now, if we pull up actually the intensity of the lightning, if we pull up the lightning factor here, once you start to see a lot of lightning activity, which we are seeing right around the center, that is a big sign for solid intensification. So usually, if you do see, if you usually see a lot of lightning, especially kind of centered right there in the central portion of the storm, that is hinting that we are seeing a lot of activity and a lot of intensification that is ongoing here. Now, earlier today, this thing was battling a little bit of northeasterly wind shear across those upper levels of the atmosphere, which, wind shear is not good for storms, but it does appear, I mean, yeah, it's still ongoing, but it's a lot better looking compared to what it was here earlier on our video that we did post here for today. So it is definitely improving. Now, currently, Earl is clocking in at a 65 mile per hour sustained track here. Currently is still a pretty decent, I'd say it's a mid-range tropical storm, getting ready to get into the upper range tropical storm category, which it's pretty much almost there, to be honest with you. It's kind of a mid-upper class tropical storm right now. So this is a pretty strong tropical storm that we are watching here. Now, this thing is expected to become a possible major hurricane down the line. We are going to watch the system here very, very closely. This is going to need monitored here a lot. And like I said, this could have eventually potential impacts here on areas of Bermuda, as we are going to be looking at the models and stuff like that. But like I said, once again, all of that lightning activity right there towards the center portion of the storm, that is showing us that we are having a lot of rapid intensification with this in particular system, which is honestly showing that this system right now, just by looking at satellite imagery, is definitely on a strengthening trend. It's looking very, very healthy at this point. And it's definitely looking a lot more healthier than it did earlier for the video. So I did want to go ahead. I just wanted to do a live stream for you guys because I haven't done live stream in a little bit. And obviously I wanted to give you guys updates. Anyways, so that's what's going on there in regard to the latest satellite imagery. Now let's go ahead and move on back here to the main screen here. I want to go ahead and talk about the track that's possibly expected here out of Tropical Storm Earl. So once again, we have the satellite overhead here. Currently, the system is located. You can actually see here, by tomorrow, this thing could be possibly could be possibly a Category 1 hurricane. The National Weather Service does have that being possible, kind of around actually for early morning on Wednesday. But it would not be impossible, honestly, if we do have this possibility of changing into a Category 1 based off of current views. I mean, like I said, lots and lots of intensification has been ongoing with this in particular system. Now, the National Hurricane Center, if we go ahead and switch on back here really quickly, has the current cone here becoming a hurricane. The H stands for hurricane at 2 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. Now, that's very, very early here on Wednesday. And like I was saying, the latest views, what we've been seeing here with the system in particular, is that we are seeing lots and lots of intensification out of the system here, in which, honestly, I am expecting this system to, just get stronger from here on out. Anyways, we'll be tracking our way mostly to the north here. This system is relatively tracking its way pretty much due straight north. Eventually, pretty much for pretty much on Thursday afternoon, this system is going to get a little bit more of a northeasterly kick here. Now, it's kind of hard to see, but that little speck right there, that is Bermuda. Now, the cone of uncertainty is now just east of Bermuda, although that does not mean that tropical activity or tropical impacts can't occur. That's just where the center portion of the storm is expected to go into. Now, obviously, this is still a changing story and something that we are still going to need to watch out for. So we're definitely going to keep an eye on it. Anyways, so we are seeing this thing remain a Category 1 hurricane pretty much all the way here, pretty much all the way until around Thursday, when on Thursday afternoon, this thing is expected to become a Category 2. Now, here's the thing. Once it approaches directly due east of pretty much Bermuda, once it's right next to Bermuda, this system is expected to become a Category 3, as the National Hurricane Center does have an M, which stands for Major Hurricane. We'll go ahead and switch on back here just to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about here. Definitely is looking very, very crazy. So like I was saying, that M stands for Major Hurricane, in which in this case, like I said, it could be Category 3 or higher. That's what Major stands for. So this thing is expected to become a major hurricane and actually last for a little bit. So this is going to be a system that we have got to really watch out for. So interest in Bermuda, guys, we've really got to keep an eye on it. I mean, seriously, like I was saying, Bermuda is definitely, cutting it close here with this system in particular. Like I said, for the most part, we are expecting this system to track just east of Bermuda for the most part. All the models are pretty much suggesting this. But like I said, the storm's wind field is actually very, very large, or forecasted to be quite large, as we are going to see. It would not be impossible if we did see some tropical storm force winds being a possibility here across portions of Bermuda. As of right now, I'd say it's still a pretty low chance of seeing hurricane force winds, but I don't think you're really going to get any hurricane conditions, but tropical storm conditions I definitely do see as a possibility. Maybe even a little bit of, like I said, maybe even a little bit of coastal flooding due to all those winds pushing those waves against the coastline. So that is something we got to watch out for. Anyways, let's go ahead and see here. Well, glad to have you guys here for today. Sorry I'm not getting to too many comments. I just have a lot to talk about. Donald says, Happy Labor Day, guys. You too, Donald. Thank you so much for being here. Glad to have you. But anyways, not to bug or anything, but how do I become mod? So join our Discord server. It's in the link, or it's a link. There's a link into it in the description. You guys can join that, and there should be an application format you guys can just follow. Anyways, let's go ahead and see here. Galaxy says, Hey, Andrew, sorry I haven't been active lately. Don't worry about it. You're good. Let's go see here. Apparently, Hype is getting off here. Or hold on, who's getting off here? Oh, yeah, so Hype's getting off here. We'll see you later, Hype. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much for being here. But anyway, so like I was saying, guys, we've really just got to keep an eye on this system here over the next little bit. So now it's the time that we need to talk about. So we're going to go ahead and take a look here at the models in regard to this system here, in regard to Earl. We're going to really do some analysis here. We're going to really dive into the models, and we're going to talk about all kinds of the fun stuff that this system could potentially bring here down the line. So here we go. Let's go ahead and move on over here to the models. First up, we're taking a look here at the GFS model. It's going to line this up here. The time is on the upper right-hand side, right there where my cursor is at. You guys can see it. Just under my little Twitter handle there. Anyway, so we have ourselves Danielle, right there out in the north central portions of the Atlantic, the north central portion. Once again, expected to kind of track its way to the northeast and eventually kind of slow down and maybe get a little bit more of a southerly approach. But for the most part, like I said, for the most part of this in particular system here, that is kind of indeed what we are watching. So that's what we are seeing here. So in regard to Danielle, like I said, I'm not really worried about Danielle too much. This system is just going to be pretty much fading out over the next little bit. It is expected to be downgraded into a tropical storm here relatively soon. Now, with that being said, like I said, with Tropical Storm Earl, future Hurricane Earl, or maybe even future Major Hurricane Earl, this system is going to continue to track its way up here to the north. Now, that little speck right there, that is Bermuda. I know it's very, very hard to see. We're going to take a zoomed-in view here as well in a minute. Anyway, so as we track our way down here in time, once again, time's on the top right-hand corner of the screen. This system really gets close to Bermuda here. We're talking pressures of around 950 millibars. Now, that's kind of equivalent, just based off pressure, to around a Category 3 hurricane, which honestly, that is kind of pretty low pressure there. In which, like I was saying, this thing is going to be getting scarily close to Bermuda. That little speck right just there, that is Bermuda. And this thing just barely dodges the side here of Bermuda. But still, like I said, we got to really, really watch out for this. Now, if we go ahead and zoom in onto Earl, in regard to this system in particular, we're going to drop down a run because this one's not fully done yet. But if we track our way down here in time, I think I'm on the wrong one. I think I was looking at Danielle there. Yeah, let's go and pull back up to Earl. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. Let's see here. I think the models are being a little bit funky. Oh, never mind. I'm just losing my mind here. Anyway, so this is a system. This is Tropical Storm Earl. Obviously, rapid intensification from here on out is expected out of this system, so we are going to continue watching it. Now, there you go. That right there, my friends, that is Bermuda. Now, this system, like I was saying, according to the GFS model, is going to be getting very, very close to the system here. But like I was saying, the majority of the models do indeed say that this system will be east of Bermuda for the most part. But how east of Bermuda, that's still kind of an unknown. There is still a little bit of, models we need to, there's still a lot more stuff that we need to discuss, and obviously new information needs to come out here. Anyways, but yeah, so down to the 945 millibar mark, right next to Bermuda. That's definitely pretty crazy. Now, if we take a look here towards the lower levels of the atmosphere, here's the winds at the surface. You're going to notice that right there, that green, that's kind of like that portion of the tropical storm force of winds. Sustained winds here of tropical storm force. We're talking possibly 40 knots or so, according to GFS, which 40 knots is equivalent to around 45 miles per hour, which that is in constant winds too, which that does equivalent to tropical storm force winds. So with that being said, this model in particular, GFS, does show this thing having some winds, possibly up to obviously tropical storm force, and maybe even some higher gusts. I mean, like I said, this is constant winds of possibly around 45 miles per hour. According to GFS, once again, you can't just trust one model specifically, but according to the main model here of GFS, this is what it is showing us, and maybe even some higher gusts. Maybe I'd say up to 55 to 60 miles per hour could still be a possibility out of those gusts. So, and then obviously this system just tracks its way out to the northeast, and you can see just how large this wind field becomes. As it tracks its way up here further north. I mean, very, very small, but look how big it becomes once it moves up here into the northeast, which obviously could be kind of a concern here for some of the other regions. Now, let's go and see. So this right here is towards, let's see, is this Cape Breton, I believe? If I'm not mistaken, let's go and see if I can figure that out. I believe this is, no, I think this is actually St. John's. Okay, so this region up here, you can see right there, this is around St. John's. So that could be a possible concern for the areas there as well. I'm not exactly sure what area of land that's specifically for, but I'll go ahead and show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. Here's the Atlantic view. There is Maine. This landmass right here, according to GFS, could get some impacts. But like I said, that's still pretty far down the line. The chances of that happening is still pretty much unknown at this point. But I'm just kind of showing you what the latest models are showing us. But anyways, so that's what we are talking about in regard to the GFS model when it does come to Earl. Now, let's go ahead and move on back here to the models, you guys. Now, we're going to go ahead and switch on into the hurricane models. First up, we're taking a look here at the HWRF model in regard to Earl. So this is an actual hurricane model when it does come to things here. But anyways, so like I said, guys, if you have any questions, let us know. We're going to be here for you guys. We got you all covered here. But anyways, so as we track our way down here in time, obviously, once again, rapid intensification is expected to occur. Now, this system, there you go. There's Bermuda once again. Millibars dropping, pressure dropping down into the lower 950s. Now, that's a pretty big concern when it does come to this. Now, like I was saying, obviously towards Bermuda here, we are seeing the possibilities once again, similar to what the GFS said, of maybe around 40 knots, 35 to 40 knot sustained winds, which that's kind of around, like I said, obviously 35 knots is around 40 miles per hour to 40 knots is around 45. So I'd say about 40 to 45 miles per hour, kind of that low-end tropical storm force sustained winds, but obviously we could have higher gusts into that mid-range tropical storm status. So, but like I said, I mean, this system still could veer left, or it still could veer more to the right. There is still a little bit of uncertainty. That's why the cone is so large currently right now, because there is just still a lot of questions in regard to the system. We actually did just have hurricane hunters fly out into the system, and they have identified that this system is becoming a lot more organized, which obviously you can just tell straight up by the satellite view just directly above my head here. Man, this thing is definitely really starting to crank here. And basically from here on out, this thing is expected to rapidly develop. And like I was saying, at this point right here, once it approaches near Bermuda, just east of Bermuda, this thing is expected to become a major hurricane, possibly around a upper level category 2 into a category 3, in which this system is going to be quite the beast here down the time. Anyways, so that is what we are talking about in regard to the HWRF model. We're going to go ahead and move on into the HMON model. This is basically another, hurricane model in regard to things back with Earl. So as we track our way down here in time, now this model in particular has things a lot more worse. As you can obviously tell, we're going to go ahead and move that down here. Now this model in particular kind of shows that wind field, once again, pressure dropping in the 950 range, but this one actually shows the portions of Bermuda absolutely getting slammed with around 55 to 60 knots, which that is equivalent to around 65 miles per hour. So this model in particular kind of shows more of that mid-range tropical storm force winds. Now, obviously, all the models so far have indicated possibility of some tropical storm force winds, and like I said, with higher gusts even being a possibility here. You can see right there, that is Bermuda. According to the latest HMON model, they didn't pull out as lucky as compared to the other ones we're going to see. So obviously, in this case, we're going to have, to the start of this system here, the winds in the very, very beginning are going to be moving their way here to the west, directly to the west here, obviously battering the eastern side of Bermuda with maybe some swelling, pretty much mild swelling at this point. But once we start to move more down into this event, kind of around the morning hours here for September 9th, according to this in particular model, all these winds are going to be plowing their way down here to the south. They're going to be basically impacting a lot of the northern portion of Bermuda, which is going to cause some possible concerns in regard to coastal flooding, obviously swelling of water, and at that point, even rip currents could be a possibility with this in particular system here. So we just got to really continue watching this. There's still a little bit of disagreement here. I mean, obviously, this system is expected to get strong regardless. All the models are agreeing in the factor of how strong this system could potentially be. Like I was saying, for the most part, all the models we just looked at were showing around the 950 millibar range, which that is equivalent to basically around category 3 strength. So that is expected to be quite a beast here. Anyways, if we go ahead and move on to one more model here, we have the HAFS. This is the a relatively new model they added to the system here. I believe this just came out this year. Anyways, we're going to take a look here back at Earl. Actually, let's go ahead and do the closer one. There's actually two different ones. We'll go to this guy right here. More closer up view. Anyways, we're going to drop down a run here because that one's not fully done, but here we go. So we do track down here in time, obviously, with this in particular system here. There you go. Once again, there is Bermuda. Now, this one is, once again, kind of showing around that 40, actually the 45 knot range, maybe around, 45 to 50 miles per hour, according to, basically according to, this latest model here. So what we've seen so far out of the 4 major models we just looked at is the fact that all of them are supporting tropical storm force sustained winds. Like I said, mostly of 40 miles per hour and up. And the highest one was showing around like 60 mile per hour winds there we were talking about. Obviously with higher gusts, maybe up to hurricane force according to that one model, but 3 out of the 4 disagree with that. But all of them agree on the possibility of tropical storm force winds. So it would not be surprising if by tomorrow I should say, it would not be surprising if we do actually have some tropical storm watches out here for portions of Bermuda. It's definitely going to be needed down the line because we are going to need it. So obviously now would be a good time to get prepared just to keep an eye out for Bermuda. Like I said, this is not something that they're not used to seeing. I mean, this happens a lot. They've gotten hit a lot worse before. But regardless, obviously to like tourists and people, they should still prepare for this because even a tropical storm can have some pretty bad consequences, in which we are going to continue to watch this very, very closely. Now, so that's kind of what we are talking about, guys, in regard to the system. With the humidity factor, I mean, this system is relatively going to be pretty much fine here. No dry air infiltration anytime soon. I mean, looking relatively fine for the most part. Maybe a little bit here for portions of the 7th, but it's according to one model. But most of the fact, this thing's going to have plenty of moisture to work with. It's going to be relatively fine for the most part. Anyways, let's go see poor Bermudans and tourists. I hope Earl doesn't decimate the island. Like I said, for the most part, I mean, as of now, the guidance is showing the system more east to Bermuda. The more east it goes, the better it will be for Bermuda. Absolutely. But like I was saying, obviously, just regardless, we got to really keep an eye on this, and we're going to really watch out for it and see, what this is going to do here. I was going to see, can we repeat Florence with Earl trying to make a landfall? Unexpected in 2018, remember? I give this a 0% chance of doing that. This system is not going to do so, and there is a very important, there's a big factor of why this is not going to pull something like that. Now, I know you're a bit paranoid of that. It's not going to take a sudden turn here to the west. That's not even on the table. We are going to have some pretty strong high pressure across portions of the eastern United States, which is going to pretty much act as a block and pretty much just knock this thing back out to sea. According to some models, there actually is supposed to be an area of low pressure directly just up towards the Canadian Maritime, dragging out a cold front, and actually that's the reason why this thing is steering its way more to the northeast. So the odds of that actually hitting portions of North Carolina is literally none. There is a 0% chance of that actually happening. That's just not expected to be playing out here. That's just not how the physics work. So that's not going to be a possibility. Anyways, let's go ahead and see here. How are you today? Moved in my dorm room yesterday. We're glad to hear that there, Devin. I'm doing all right. Hope you're doing good as well. Thank you guys for joining us. So, but like I was saying, so yeah, we just got to keep an eye on that right now. Like I said, Bermuda just now outside of the cone of uncertainty. But like I said, that's where the central low can track into. Which basically means, this line right here in the middle, that's kind of where we are expecting the central portion of the storm to track over. Now, this line over here is as far left as it possibly can go, where that center could track over. So the center could track anywhere in here. And like I said, obviously, in this case, the more further to the west it goes, the more bad for Bermuda. The more east it goes, the better for Bermuda. We want it to go east. We definitely do want this system to go east of Bermuda. More east, the more better. And like I was saying, over the last several scans here, I mean, this thing has been on a rapid intensification kick here. I mean, this system in particular, if we go ahead and take a look here back at the satellite imagery here, you're going to notice, this thing is solid at this point. Let me actually go ahead and move on to this guy. Get a better view of it. So yeah, in regard to Earl currently, you see all those pluses right there in the middle of that storm. That is showing lightning strikes. Those are satellite indicated lightning strikes. And in this case, we are having a lot of lightning activity towards the center, the core of the storm here, which basically means that we are seeing rapid intensification with this system. Anytime you start to see a lot of lightning with these warm-blooded tropical systems, usually they don't produce lightning. Hurricanes, they usually don't produce lightning. But whenever they do, whenever these tropical systems do produce lightning, that usually means that we are seeing some pretty strong intensification, especially right there in the core. Like I said, this is not just on a singular rain band. This is in the heart of this system here, which does mean that this thing is definitely on a quick intensity track here, and this thing is expected to just blow up from here on out, and is expected to pretty much just continue to strengthen over the next several days, really. But anyways, so that's the latest information in regard to Earl. Like I said, we have the same imagery just above my head there. I just want to go and blow it up, make it a little bit bigger for you guys to actually see it. But as you can see there, lots and lots of intensification is ongoing with this in particular system. Now, here's something I do want to go ahead and mention to you guys. Here is the National Hurricane Center's outlook here. This is their take on it. They just now updated this whole entire thread here. Now, here is the probability of seeing tropical storm force winds. This is basically, according to the Hurricane Center, this is what they think is the probability of seeing tropical storm force winds. You can kind of see right there, Bermuda is in that kind of darkish orange color, which that's at the 50 to 60 mark. So that is still around a 50 to 60% chance that we could see sustained tropical storm force winds across portions here of Bermuda upon landfall, or upon close call, I should say. So this thing is expected to definitely, like I said, obviously possibly produce maybe even some tropical storm force winds, as, like I said, 50 to 60% chance as of right now. Now, here's the thing. In regard to the hurricane force wind probability, Bermuda is not actually out of this, believe it or not. So Bermuda actually has a 10 to 20% chance as of now to have hurricane force winds, which as of now, like I said, it's a very, very low possibility. But like I said, yeah, obviously have a better chance of seeing those tropical storm force winds, as they are actually a lot more higher. So, like I said, obviously Bermuda, just prepare for the worst. Obviously it's better to be over-prepared than under-prepared. Like I said, we are expecting the system to relatively track east of Bermuda, but like I was saying, like I said, we are expecting this thing to track mostly east of Bermuda. A lot of the model guidance does actually support so, and everything like that. Let's go and see here, but yeah. Let's go ahead and see here. Weather says, please explain why Florence made unexpected landfall. Show me what happened. We cannot do that right now since we actually are paying attention to this in particular system, and I'd have to pull up historical data, which I'm not doing right now. And like I said, just because you're worried about what happened then, this system is not going to take that approach. I can guarantee this. Because like I was saying, what's going to happen with this in particular system here is we are going to have some blocking high pressure with a swinging cold front coming down here from the Canadian Maritime, actually knocking this system back out to sea. And like I said, the cone of uncertainty there, that is where the center of the storm could track into. As far west as that, pretty much. And as far east as this, as of right now. Now, obviously, this can still change a little bit, but like I said, for the most part, no. This is pretty much not even really physically possible for a system to pretty much do this and come back for areas towards North Carolina. Like I said, don't worry about it. I know you might be a little nervous about it, but no, it's not going to happen. I can tell you that right now. I've studied this for years. I've tracked many cyclones. It's not even really possible for them to take that approach. Now, that's what we're talking about. Like I said, obviously this thing is expected to become a major hurricane. We are going to definitely continue to watch this here very, very closely. So, all right, my friends, we're going to go ahead and move on over here to the other system we are watching now, moving into the Eastern Pacific. Now, this guy, Could have some pretty bad consequences across portions here of the Baja California region here down the line. Now, there is some good news. What it looks like is the latest cone of uncertainty has tracked a lot more to the west here. Regardless, the system is tracking its way to the northwest, but it is expected to make a closer approach towards the island, or towards the peninsula here of the Baja California region. As of right now, like I was saying, look how humongously large this system actually is. I mean, if we compare this system to Earl, right here in the, basically towards the north of the Caribbean here, if we compare this system to Earl, we could probably fit about 4 or 5 Earls inside of K here. And like I said, obviously this right here, this is K. This is Tropical Storm K here. Now, here's the thing. Now, this thing is obviously doing a lot more intensification. You can see right here towards the center, we are having a lot more of these white and black, little bursts coming through here. That's what we call convective bursts. And basically, that means that these systems are, organizing better. That means that they're starting to really function better to get their act together. The system is obviously tracking, or basically rotating counterclockwise. Definitely looking a lot better than it was. Absolutely. Now, this thing is expected to become a hurricane here relatively soon. Like I said, hold on. As of now, it kind of looks like that this thing might already be a hurricane, according to the latest update. I have to confirm that really quickly. Hold on. Let me actually see if that's right. That could be. You know what, guys? This thing's now a hurricane. I can actually show you guys exactly what. I didn't even know that. That just now popped up here. So here's National Hurricane Center's page. Eastern Pacific. This thing is now a Category 1 hurricane with maximum sustained winds of 80 miles per hour, central low of 980, and moving to the west-northwest at 10 miles per hour. So as of now, yep, this thing has now officially been, or this thing is now officially a Category 1 hurricane. So I shouldn't really say Tropical Storm K anymore. I'm actually going to go ahead and update something really quickly. We're going to go ahead and change that TS, which stands for Tropical Storm, to C1, which that stands for Category 1. Just so I can, have that going up there. You know what I'm also going to do? I'm going to remove this, we're going to remove that tropical storm symbol, and we're going to add ourselves, oh, that's not what I want to do. That's obviously not good. Yeah, that's not what we want to do here. And let's go ahead and add this guy, down here. There we go. Okay, so now we have, oh, that's, what am I doing here? I'm messing everything up. All right, that's good enough. Okay. Anyways, I just want to go ahead and update that. So, yeah, we have now K. K is now a Category 1 hurricane, just like Danielle is, which, like I said, we got to watch out for. So, the current cone does have this thing intensifying here quite rapidly. And according to the National Hurricane Center, this thing could become a Category 2 by tomorrow. This thing is definitely intensifying here very, very quickly. Like I said, moving away generally out to sea, but it's going to be like, ha, I fooled ya. And it's going to be basically moving its way back towards areas of land here. Like I said, obviously towards the Baja Peninsula, you guys got to keep on watching the system here very, very closely. Like I said, this could have some pretty decent impacts here down the line for these areas as well, as it is going to definitely cut close. So, here's what we're talking about. We're going to go ahead and move on back to the models, guys. Obviously, when we take a look at these, we got to obviously dive into the models. But first, something I forgot to look at, guys, was the spaghetti plots for Earl. So, we're going to do that really quickly first, and then we're going to move into models for K here. So, Earl is that one system we were watching here in the Atlantic, by the way. Just to let you guys know. Anyways, so let's go ahead and bring on in here. We're going to go ahead and take a look here at the latest information regarding to Earl. We're going to go ahead and move on back to my main screen here right now. So, this is what we are looking at. So, this is the latest and greatest, hurricane guidance in regard to our hurricane models here. Now, there is a lot more agreement. There really is compared to the last few runs here. Right there is Bermuda. You can obviously tell right there. That is lovely old Bermuda. And like I said, obviously this system is expected to generally track its way just to the east here of Bermuda. That's definitely some good news. The more east it goes, the better the approach. The more east it goes, the better it will obviously be. So, that is definitely some good news. Like I said, obviously Bermuda, you guys got to really still watch out for this here. Like I said, this is where the central low could track over. Each one of these lines represents a model showing where the central low is going to be here. Anyways, so that's what we're looking at. That's in regard to the basically to the track in regard to things. Now here's the intensity forecast. Now obviously we have a lot more agreement of this thing becoming a possible Category 3 storm here. As we track our way down in time, obviously nothing but rapid development is expected out of this system, and obviously quickly declining once it kind of reaches that 96-hour mark. So basically what we're looking at here at the moment, like I was saying, all models do currently, this thing is currently a tropical storm, possibly becoming a Category 1 by tomorrow. It's a possibility. Obviously, getting up into the Category 2 realm, as more than half of the models do suggest it, and about half of the models, if not a little bit more than half, actually do support the possibility of this system here becoming a Category 3, which is considered a major hurricane. So, that is what we are indeed watching out for. So, that's the guidance in regard to Earl. All right, now, so let's go and move on back here to the models here, guys. We're going to go ahead and actually switch up to this here really quickly. I know it's going to be off-centered for a second. I just need to go ahead and bring up the GFS here first. So, like I said, we were looking at Earl there first. Now we're going to move on into, we're going to go ahead and take a look here back here at K. So, here is what we are currently watching as of now. So, this is obviously the latest information in regard to the GFS model. All right, so as we track our way down in time, obviously rapid development is expected to occur out of the system. There you go. That is the peninsula of Baja, California. So, obviously, the Baja, California peninsula there. So, this system is going to be making a very close sideswipe here, according to the GFS model. Now, in regard to those winds here down at the surface, we could see sustained winds here of, well, a lot higher than what Bermuda is expected to see here. According to the latest GFS here, we could see some winds as high as around, let's see, this is kind of showing around that 65 knot range, which could be around 70 to 75 miles per hour. So that's kind of around Category 1 hurricane strength. You know, really being a possibility. Obviously, higher gusts, maybe even up a little bit higher, could indeed be a possibility here. But we definitely just got to keep an eye on this here for the most part. Let's go see Andy with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Andy. Greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. Let's go see here. Megan says, don't forget to like the video. Y'all, it means the world to us. Yeah, it really does. Thank you all for being here. Once again, big shout out to Proxy and Andy. Y'all are the best. Just now came through. Thank you so much, you guys. Greatly appreciated. So, but like I was saying, you know, with this being said, though, especially once, like I said, especially if it sideswipes the side here of the Baja Peninsula, like I was saying, with that being said, we're going to have a lot of those winds pushing against the coastlines. And like I said, with that being said, usually what happens with this is obviously, you know, storm surge concerns, coastal flooding, obviously, you know, rip currents being a possibility as well, which that is definitely something we got to really watch out for. So, we'll just keep an eye on it. You know, we're definitely just going to watch it closely. And then obviously this thing just kind of tracks out. Now, according to GFS, this thing actually kind of loops back around, kind of just as a, you know, pretty much just as a disturbance here, not really anything else. Now, does this thing have the potential of restrengthening? It's way too early to tell. But like I was saying, I mean, probably not, honestly. But yeah, so like I said, obviously, in regard to the GFS, we definitely got to watch out for this, regardless here. But GFS shows it really swiping the land there. All right, so now we're going to move on to HWRF model. This is another hurricane model in regard to things here. As we track our way down in time, now this one doesn't get as close to the edge of land here. But you are going to notice here, we're going to put that back there, but you are going to notice that we are going to start to see some of those winds here easily get up into the mid to high tropical storm force range, which that is going to be playing out as, honestly, like I said, obviously could be quite impactful. So, we are going to watch out for that. That is definitely a possibility. We could see some of those mid to upper range tropical storm force winds out of this model. Now, the other model was actually showing us that those hurricane force winds there. Anyways, so that is what we are talking about in regard to the HWRF model. Now, this one just kind of has it, you know, continuing to the northwest after that, and just kind of stalling out as it moves into cooler waters. But once again, I mean, still, regardless of how far this one tracks west compared to the GFS, we still have got to watch it, as it could definitely be consequences, or definitely could still be some impacts here down the line. So next up, we have ourselves the HMON model. This is another run here in regard to things. Now, this guy in particular has this thing tracking well to the west here of the Baja, California panhandle, or yeah, not panhandle, but peninsula. I was about to say. So yeah, this model in particular does have this, I mean, a much larger wind field. I mean, you can just see how large the eye is inside of the system here. But this one just tracks a lot more to the west. Now, hopefully that's the case out of this, out of the system here. Let's hope so. Now, when it does come to our latest and greatest HAFS, once again, this is like a new model to the system here. In regard to K here, here's what we are expecting out of this system. Now, once again, kind of similar to what, actually, I don't think that one goes out as far, so we're going to drop down and run here. But anyway, so in regard to this system in particular, yeah, this one does get a pretty close call to, pretty much a close call to the Baja Peninsula as well. And like I was saying, I mean, potentially getting up into the 50-plus knot range, which that is equivalent to around mid to upper level tropical storm force winds here, with this system definitely becoming a hurricane by then. So, but obviously we could have some much higher wind gusts, definitely being a possibility here out of the system. So, but anyway, so that is kind of we are watching here in regard to this in particular system here. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, let us know. We're going to be here for you guys. Like I said, obviously, I'm sorry I'm not as active in chat as I usually am. It's just because, like I said, I have a lot of stuff I just need to talk about here today. I mean, like I said, we're watching two potentially life-threatening systems, both in the Atlantic and in the Pacific. With K as well as Earl. Tropics have definitely really started blowing up here. I mean, they've been very, very quiet so far since, from this portion of the year. But now that we're moving into peak, I mean, right about now, within the next few days, we're going to be right there at peak hurricane season. And obviously, it is starting to show itself here, not going to lie. So, and like I said, obviously, more systems could follow down the line. As of right now, I'm not really paying attention to or not really, seeing anything too significant out in the far extended range as of now. Like I said, obviously our main concerns right now is the systems we are currently dealing with. But anyways, so that is kind of what we are talking about here at the moment. Let's go and see. A major fan has purchased, let's see, a drawstring bag. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for the best track and stream on YouTube. Continued success and all you do, Andrew. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, that didn't come across the stream. Well, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. Definitely does mean a lot to me. Thank you so much. Anyways, but like I was saying, though, for the most part, I mean, that's kind of what we are actively watching. Let's see here. Proxy says, just ordered some merch. Well, Proxy, there you go. Well, thank you so much for that. Greatly, greatly appreciated. And let me know how you like the merch. It's definitely pretty cool. Like I said, I got this polo shirt from the merch store. Definitely really cool. It might take a little bit for shipping. I think it takes like at max 2 weeks or so. So obviously if it's a little bit late, like I said, don't be surprised. But well, thank you so much once again, Proxy. Greatly appreciated, my friend. But yeah, so like I said, that's pretty much what's going on here in regard to the tropics here. I just want to go ahead and give you guys, a more in-depth view with this in particular thing here. One more thing we are going to do here while we're on the subject of Tropical Storm K, or actually now Hurricane K. I'm not even used to saying that yet. Hurricane K at this point. We do need to discuss the overall spaghetti models for this guy as well. We did not do so. We did look at that for Earl. Now, in regard to the latest spaghetti models, there is... Oh, I should probably change my screen view. It's a little cut off there. Still is a little cut off, but not as bad. We'll just zoom into it. That's a lot better. Anyway, so in regard to, like I said, in regard to this, guys, I mean, this is expected to continually track its way up here to the northwest. Now, the majority of the models, you can actually tell the more of the higher density is on the right-hand side, showing this thing getting a little bit more closer to the Baja region. So that's kind of what we are watching here in regard to things here. Now there is a few models that do track it, more to the west. Now obviously this would be the better scenario, honestly, but like I said, the majority of the chances of that happening is a little bit lower. Still, most of the models are agreeing more closer towards the Baja landfall, but not as close as we actually thought in the way beginning, which that is definitely some good news. So we're going to keep an eye on it, guys. We're definitely just going to continue to watch this here very, very closely, as this thing is going to definitely need to be monitored. Now, when we take a look here at the intensity guidance here in regard to this system here, you can actually see, I mean, once again, middle of the models shows rapid intensification that's going to be occurring here. Like I said, obviously kind of getting up to Category 2. That median point of the models does actually have this thing getting up to around Category 2 strength, which, like I said, is expected to possibly occur once it kind of approaches near the Baja California Peninsula. So that's kind of the verdict here on the latest informations of the models in regard to the tropics. So everything we just talked about, guys, is your latest information. So we basically went over everything here. Now I want to go ahead and show you guys something here actually really quickly. If we take a look here at the aircraft recon, they're currently inside of the storm here currently. Now they are indicating, wow, look at this. Holy cow. So this is for Earl actually in the eastern, or in the, near the Caribbean. Look at this. So what they found out just now is rapid intensification. This thing, okay, I'm going to say it now, this thing might be getting near hurricane force already. This thing actually might be getting, this particular system might actually be close, if not hurricane force right now. Like I said, the latest update has this thing at 65 mile per hour sustained winds. It's been like that all day long. And like I said, obviously latest satellite imagery just above my head there is showing a lot more better conditions than what we saw earlier. And like I said, obviously the latest Hurricane Hunter aircraft Reconnaissance did actually detect 993 millibar right there at the surface. So what that means is that we are now seeing this thing, the pressure drop into a strong tropical storm force, maybe even near that Category 1 force. So we'll definitely keep an eye on it. Let's see here. So we're going to take a look at the graph here a little bit. I know you guys probably don't understand all this at the moment. But we are definitely seeing some, we're starting to see a lot of higher spikes here in the wind field, which that is kind of a bit concerning. I'm not going to lie with y'all. Let's go and bring back the main view here. But once again, let's see. We have some drop zones coming through here. Yeah, you can see right here, this is where they dropped all these probes inside of the system. Each one of these locations is a marker. For example, they dropped number 12 right there towards the center of the storm. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and take a look here at view drop zone. We're going to go down to number 12, and they put an eye there so you can actually see. Now, obviously, in the eye of the storm, the winds at the surface are not as strong here. Look at the relative humidity column on the far right-hand side right there. If it's all green, that stands for a very, very solid structure, and it does have a good structure with it. No dry air infiltration is currently ongoing here. That is definitely some good news, or for the system, I should say, anyways. Let's try 14. That's the next closest one. Now, here's the thing. Look at this guy. This guy detected, you guys can't even see that. This guy detected 50 knots, which that's around 55 mile per hour. Once again, humidity there, all in the green, looking relatively good. And the temperatures are definitely quite toasty as well. So, anyway, so at the surface, yeah, we had some winds here east-northeast at around 50 knots, according to one of the drop zones here. I mean, you can obviously tell how the red and the green lines are close to each other. That's your outside temperature and your dew point. They are literally, like, squished together. Basically showing us that, yeah, we are seeing very, very saturated, basically just going through the clouds with 100% humidity there, which that is absolutely kind of nuts. But yeah, so like I was saying, the latest information does have, like I said, they did find the central low being around 993 millibars, which that's a big drop from last update. It went from 998 to now 993, in which now we're going to pull up the National Hurricane Center. Let's see, did they have an update on this yet? I don't know if they posted their update here yet. Let's go back to the main page here. Let's see here. So this latest update here was at 5 o'clock p.m. AST. This was at 7:15 Eastern. So, you know what, guys? Personally, I think this thing might already be hurricane force. This thing might already be a hurricane. Now, obviously, they said expect to become a hurricane later this week, but I think what they found just now is obviously possibility of hurricane conditions here. Like I said, obviously minimum pressure here is 998 millibars. As of last scan, they just now updated to 993. That's a huge drop. A huge drop compared to what we've seen before, which that's actually kind of concerning. Like I said, maximum sustained winds of 65. Like I said, it has to be 10 mile per hour more and to be considered a hurricane. 10 mile per hour more winds, and we're seeing a big old steep drop like that. That is actually pretty concerning. So what I just think we just found, guys, inside of this hurricane, like I said, the latest hurricane hunters are still in this system as we currently speak. I think I have a pretty strong feeling this thing might just be a hurricane. If not, 70 mile per hour sustained. I mean, this thing is right there on that line there. Nerd says, hey guys, what's up? Hope you're doing all right. Glad to have you here, man. Thank you so much for joining us here. And like I said, if you guys are new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button, y'all. Be greatly appreciated. Like I said, we're just definitely just gonna keep an eye on the tropics and stuff like that. Like I was saying, honestly, what we just found out is that the pressure here of central Earl, you can see right in the eye, we're seeing ourselves 993 pressure. That's actually pretty low. And you can actually see if we zoom in, you can obviously tell the counterclockwise rotation that is ongoing with the system. So that circulation is definitely very, very tight at this point. Definitely is very, very solid. And honestly, like I said, this thing is, I really do think this thing is a hurricane at this point. But latest update still shows this tropical storm. But like I said, we just now got some information on this storm here. And they indicated that this storm is a lot more stronger. I mean, literally, from 998 to 993, that's a big drop. That really is a big drop, more than you guys think, actually. In which that's actually kind of concerning here. It really, really is. Basically, this is where they scanned 998 millibar earlier in the previous run, and obviously 993 was the latest run they just did. First of all, this system is tracking northwest for the most part, which honestly is kind of interesting. But anyways, regardless, though, this is definitely kind of concerning. This is definitely kind of crazy. So we're just going to keep an eye on it. We're going to keep an eye and see whenever the latest updates come out. I'm not exactly sure what time the latest tropical outlook comes out here. Do you guys have any idea on what time? Okay, 8 o'clock p.m. was the latest on Earl, which that was before the Hurricane Hunter Renaissance got there, though. That's the thing. Yeah, that was before a Hurricane Hunter aircraft got to the location. Let me go ahead and, okay, we're gonna have to zoom out here a little bit. But like I said, that was before the Hurricane Hunters got there. Let's see, there's the latest run. Yeah, you can see right there. So this is what they found. This is flight level, I believe. Anyways, yeah, I'm definitely really kind of shocked with this, guys. This is honestly really, really concerning. Let's see here. So obviously, yeah, the more they go, yeah, flight level winds, the more they go down, the more higher the winds do get. I mean, obviously these things are surface bound for the most part, and you know, according to this, I mean, we were seeing ourselves. Yeah, we were actually seeing ourselves, you know, definitely wind gusts up there. I mean, they're talking around 65 knots or so, which that's kind of around. Yeah, that's kind of around nearly, that's kind of getting near hurricane force winds. I mean, that's actually right there around 70 miles per hour, which, like I said, obviously the latest update we just got here literally not long ago. Like I was saying, from 998 millibars to 993 with the latest scan just now, that's a lot of new information. And definitely is kind of concerning, though, I'm not going to lie. But like I was saying, here's the latest scan in regard to the latest satellite imagery. I mean, just look at it. I mean, it's definitely looking so much better than it was. I mean, first of all, this system is well circular at this point. That was almost a perfect circle. I mean, not really, but definitely a good circle. But anyways, but like I was saying, though, I mean, this system earlier today was actually battling a lot of wind shear. It was actually battling a lot of upper level wind shear. Basically, a lot of strong winds in the upper portion of the atmosphere pushing against the storm. Is the reason why this side, right hand side, is so much more colorful on for the right hand side. Because we have some upper level wind shear kind of just blowing all of those clouds over there. But anyways, you know, this system since, I mean, has definitely gotten a lot better. I mean, gotten a lot more organized here, which is, you know, once again, another thing of support saying, okay, this thing might actually be close to getting hurricane status here. But anyway, so that's what's going on there. We're going to go ahead and exit this here really quickly. I want to go ahead and bring up the lower level water vapor scan. Basically, the orange or the yellowish kind of showing that dry air, but the green is obviously showing the very, very saturated air. I mean, you can obviously tell there. You see the air. You can actually see right there towards the central circle. I mean, this thing is definitely kicking. That's for sure. You know, pulling up a lot of moisture here from the south. I mean, definitely is looking pretty good. You know, obviously not looking too bad for this system. And as the models did suggest, I mean, from here on out, basically, you know, from here on out, basically, what this is meaning is that this thing is actually from now on a strengthening trend, and so we definitely just got to keep an eye on it here. Anyways, mid-level water vapor, kind of what we really should look at. Once again, dry air to the west here, but for the most part, that's having no interaction with the storm at all, as it is continuing to be on life support, basically getting a lot of moisture coming up from the south. So basically, that's the storm's life support here for now. But eventually, this dry air is expected to kind of remain, and this system is going to be going into more of moisture-filled air. Eventually, just, you know, still allowing the system to continue. So honestly, yeah, I think that is relatively fine for the most part. But once again, my friends, you know, thank you all so much for being here. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, you know, let us know. We're going to be here. If you guys are new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button, guys. It'd be greatly appreciated. You know, thank you all so much for joining us here for today. Obviously, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night here, guys. I think we're going to be heading off here relatively soon. So if you have any questions regarding to the tropics or anything otherwise, let us know. And we'll definitely be here for y'all. Once again, big shout out goes to Proxy. You know, thank you so much for, first of all, the super chat earlier. Thank you so much, you know, for helping us out, and just the merch you just got. Thank you so much. You know, big shout out goes to Proxy, and for helping the video earlier today. I seen that, man. You are seriously a legend, and you're like the top supporter on the channel. So big thank you. You have no idea how thankful I am of you, Proxy. Thank you so much. And also you as well, Andy. Thank you seriously so much for the kind, you know, generous donation. Greatly appreciated, my friend. And like I said, obviously much appreciated. It just gets put back into the stream here, obviously with better equipment and stuff like that. So once again, thank you guys absolutely so much for being here, you guys. Like I was saying, the latest information here in regard to the tropics, we just got a new word that 993 millibars has indeed been Like I said, obviously 993 millibars has indeed been reported by hurricane hunters, basically, that they are currently in the storm right now. And like I was saying, it would not be surprising if we're approaching near hurricane force winds as of now. Now, this thing's currently, the previous update has us at 65 mile per hour sustained winds. And obviously, this could be, seriously, obviously this could be a lot more, a lot more stronger at this point since that pressure has seriously dropped a lot. Let's see. Proxy says, can I do a bit of an update on Danielle? Yeah, I can do Danielle really quickly. Like I was saying, in regard to Danielle, though, I mean, not really much is happening with this system here. We're going to go ahead and zoom over here to the to Danielle's look. Here's Danielle currently in regard to the latest information here. So here's the latest satellite imagery. You can actually see, I mean, obvious central area of circulation still is a Category 1 hurricane. There's really not that much stormage going on. You can obviously see that. Look how beautiful that is. Not as crazy. I mean, there's a little bit of lightning, but not towards the eye. So once again, it's a signature that intensification is not really happening with the storm here. This thing is expected to pretty much just fall from now on out. In regard to the latest cone here, with Danielle, I'll go ahead and show you what I'm talking about here. Now, this system, like I said, obviously right now is a Category 1 hurricane. You just see how large the eye is, though. Definitely is quite dry. But anyways, as we track our way up here in time, like I said, tomorrow this thing's possibly be downgraded from a hurricane into a tropical storm. Tracking its way up here to the northeast and just kind of stalling out here, and then just kind of tracking more to the south. So once again, this system is expected to really just not impact any areas of land and just pretty much just die out. So I'm really not concerned about it at all. But once again, so Proxy, that's what's going on with Danielle, because I'm not concerned about Danielle. It's really why I didn't update too much of it in my update video today. Like I said, the most concerns we're possibly watching about is obviously this guy right here, which this is Earl, and also K. So we're going to have possible landfall coverage here with both of these systems. Depends on what they do. I definitely do plan on being here in order to give you guys coverage if these systems do make landfall. The biggest one of my concerns, number one, has to be this guy right here. This is actually Tropical Storm K. Or sorry, I'm not used to saying it, Hurricane K at this point. So, like I said, obviously that is kind of what we are talking about. So we'll just definitely keep an eye on it. We'll definitely continue to watch this, my friends, and I'll give you guys an update. So stay tuned to my community post. Because tonight I'm going to do an update for whenever we get the latest update, and I'll be able to tell you if this thing is a hurricane or not. So if you guys just keep an update on our community page here, and we'll be giving you guys updates in regard to that. That's what we're watching here. Let's see, Proxy wants to know, is there anything coming off of Africa I'll be watching over the next few days? So there is a system here I'm going to go ahead and mention as well. We mentioned this in my video earlier. There is a system out here in the Atlantic. Now, this has a pretty low chance of really doing anything significant anytime soon. There you go, right there. That's another area of formation we're watching. Now, this system is directly just south of the Cabo Verde Islands for the most part. It has a lot of work to do, but this thing has a 60% chance of tropical development into a tropical depression here soon. Now, this system, obviously, as you can tell, is kind of more arced to head more towards the central portion of sea, more out to sea. I don't really expect any bad, bad impacts as of now. Obviously it's still way too early, but as of right now, it's just I'm not really concerned about it. Like I said, obviously the main topics on the news here right now is obviously in regard to Earl as well as K as well. But that is what we are talking about. So Proxy, right now there's that one system we're watching here, possibility. I think that's just a bunch of thunderstorm mess. I don't think that's really anything in regard to things. But anyway, so that's what's going on there, my friends, in regard to the tropics. Well, thank you so much once again, guys, for being here for today. Greatly appreciated. Proxy, once again, absolute legend. Thank you so much. Andy, you as well. Thank you so much for supporting the channel for today. You absolutely rock, my friends. Alrighty, guys, so that's going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Tomorrow, let's see what we're going to be doing tomorrow here. I think we don't have any severe weather going on tomorrow. Let me see. Switching on over here to tomorrow's outlook. Yeah, we don't have any chances for severe or for any strong to severe storms here for tomorrow, which that's definitely some good news. Definitely is some good news. Yeah, we're not seeing ourselves any thunderstorm action or severe storm action tomorrow, so we're not going to need any coverage for that. Let's see. So usually for our schedule, we're going to turn to the Be Right Back screen first. 1 second. For our schedule, obviously today is Monday, so tomorrow we'll probably do another update video, and you guys probably not as long as today's video, but we'll definitely be giving you guys an update in regard to that. Has there been any hurricanes that have been so close to each other that they have fused? Yes, that's happened before, absolutely. And the crazy part is with Earl, It's a possibility something similar could happen to that. Usually what happens is if two low pressure systems get next to each other, they usually dance around each other, actually. Now, according to Earl, or at least some of the models we're actually supporting, is that Earl might hook a little bit. And basically in the far extended range, honestly. But like I was saying, it is supposed to meet up with another area of low pressure, and kind of they just dance around each other pretty much. They kind of revolve around each other, kind of like an offset star with a planet. You know, how they rotate around each other. Anyway, so that's kind of, you know, that's happened before many, many times, and we're just going to continue to watch. We're going to continue to watch here, like I was saying, with Earl, as that could be a possibility down the line. But anyways, guys, so that's going to go ahead and wrap it up here for today. Once again, big shout out goes to you guys. Thank you all so much for being here. Once again, if you're new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button. It'd be greatly appreciated. You guys absolutely rock. So once again, guys, thank you all so much for being here. Greatly appreciate it. I'll see you guys for tomorrow's update video. Take care, y'all. Peace out.
Seas 1 foot or less. Bay and inland waters light chop. Numerous showers and scattered thunderstorms. Friday, south winds 5 to 10 knots. Seas 1 foot or less. Bay and inland waters light chop. Widespread showers and scattered thunderstorms. Friday night, south winds around 10 knots. Seas 1 foot or less, then around 2 feet after midnight. Bay and inland waters light chop. Scattered thunderstorms. Widespread showers. Saturday, south winds around 10 knots. Seas around 2 feet. Bay and inland waters light chop. Scattered thunderstorms. Widespread showers. Winds and seas higher and near thunderstorms. Your coastal waters forecast for the following marine location: coastal waters from Tarpon Springs to Swanee River out 20 to 60 nautical miles. Issued at 8:32 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Rest of tonight, northwest winds around 5 knots, becoming northeast. Seas 1 foot or less. Isolated showers and thunderstorms late this evening and overnight. Tuesday, north winds around 5 knots. Seas 1 foot or less. Isolated showers and thunderstorms. Tuesday night, northwest winds 5 to 10 knots. Seas 1 foot or less. Isolated showers and thunderstorms in the evening, then scattered showers and thunderstorms after midnight. Wednesday, northwest winds 5 to 10 knots. Seas 1 foot or less. Scattered showers and thunderstorms. Wednesday night, northwest winds 5 to 10 knots. Seas 1 foot or less. Scattered thunderstorms. Scattered showers in the evening, then numerous showers after midnight. Thursday, north winds around 5 knots, becoming west in the afternoon. Seas 1 foot or less. Numerous showers and scattered thunderstorms. Thursday night, southwest winds around 5 knots, becoming south after midnight. Seas 1 foot or less. Scattered thunderstorms. Widespread showers. Friday, south winds around 10 knots. Seas 1 foot or less. Widespread showers and scattered thunderstorms. Friday night, south winds around 10 knots. Seas around 2 feet. Widespread showers and scattered thunderstorms. Saturday, south winds around 10 knots. Seas around 2 feet. Widespread showers and scattered thunderstorms. Winds and seas higher and near thunderstorms. The current time is 10:02 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Tide forecast. At St. Petersburg, high tide Tuesday at 10:16 a.m. Low tide Tuesday at 6:53 p.m. Marine reports along the coast and offshore buoys. At the Seaman site at Cedar Key. Winds were northwest at 5 knots. Air temperature 86 degrees. At the Seaman site at Venice. Winds were east